Have you ever heard of the Amazons, the legendary tribe of warrior women from Greek mythology? For centuries, they've been seen as just a myth, a wild story told by ancient Greeks. But what if I told you there's more to the story? The Greeks wrote about a nation of fierce, independent women who were skilled archers and horse riders living somewhere near the Black Sea. They were the equals of any male warrior, fighting heroes like Hercules and Achilles. For a long time, historians thought this was just a way for the patriarchal Greek society to explore the idea of a world turned upside down. But recently, archaeology has uncovered something fascinating. In the steppes of Eurasia, exactly where the Greeks said the Amazons lived, archaeologists have found ancient burial mounds. And inside, they've discovered the skeletons of women buried with weapons, bows, arrows, and spears. Some even show battle injuries. These were real-life warrior women. So, were these women the actual Amazons of legend, or did their existence inspire the Greek myths? The evidence is there, but the final verdict, well, you be the judge.
For centuries, they were nothing more than a myth, a fireside tale whispered by old men, a legend of warrior women living in a hidden kingdom, lost to the mists of time. We dismissed them, filed them away with stories of dragons and Atlantis. But in the late 20th century, the myth became our terrifying reality. The world we knew, the one built on steel, wool, and gunpowder, was about to be shattered. It started not with a bang, but with a shadow. Reports trickled in from remote corners of the globe, unexplained disappearances of military patrols. Downed reconnaissance planes with no signs of enemy fire. Governments dismissed them as anomalies. Accidents, but then, the shadows stepped into the light from the uncharted depths of the Amazon rainforest. A nation emerged. Their mystery was no longer a legend. It was a global power. The Amazons were real, and they had come for war. But these weren't the Amazons of ancient scrolls, armed with spears and bows, no. They had been watching us, learning from us. They emerged from their isolation clad in tactical armor that blended ancient aesthetics with modern materials. They didn't ride horses into battle. They descended from advanced, silent-running transport craft that defied our radar. Their hands held not bronze swords, but custom-built assault rifles that fired with terrifying precision. They were a fusion of ancient strength and modern warfare. A nightmare our generals had never planned for. The first major confrontation happened in Brazil. A joint task force, sent to investigate the strange energy signatures, was met not by a primitive tribe, but by a disciplined, modern army the world watched in horror's news footage. Shaky and chaotic, showed tanks being disabled by precise energy weapon strikes. Helicopters fell from the sky, their pilots never even seeing what hit them. The soldiers on the ground faced warriors who moved with supernatural speed and coordination. Their tactics a brutal, efficient dance of death. They were ghosts in the jungle, blending guerrilla warfare with the overwhelming firepower of a conventional army. This was the start of the Amazon Revolution, a global conflict that redrew every map and rewrote every rule of war. The Amazons didn't seek negotiation. They didn't issue demands. Their goal was simple and absolute: domination. Led by their queen, a towering figure whose battle-scarred armor was a testament to 1,000 unseen conflicts. Their legion spread across the continents like a wildfire. Her name was Hippolyta, but to the world, she was known only as the commander. Her strategy was flawless. She hit our communication hubs, our supply lines, our centers of power. Cities became urban war zones. Their skyscrapers turned into sniper nests for Amazon sharpshooters wielding rifles that could punch through a concrete wall from 2 miles away. In response, humanity united. Old enemies became desperate allies. A global coalition was formed, throwing everything we had at this new threat. Fighter jets streaked across the sky, only to be outmaneuvered by nimble Amazonian fighters that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Artillery barrages rained down on their positions. But when the smoke cleared, they would have vanished, only to reappear and strike from an entirely new direction. We deployed our most elite special forces, only to find them outmatched in close quarters combat against warriors who fought with energy blades that hummed with lethal power. Cutting through steel as if it were paper, the Amazons were masters of adaptation. They captured our technology and reverse-engineered it with terrifying speed. A downed F-16 fighter jet would reappear weeks later as a hybrid war machine. Its design twisted and improved, piloted by an Amazon ace who could outfly any of our best. They took our concepts of drone warfare and perfected them, unleashing swarms of autonomous hunter-killer units that patrolled the ruins of our cities. They were always one step ahead, blending their ancient combat discipline with our own cutting-edge weaponry. The war wasn't just fought on the battlefield. It was a war of ideology. The Amazons broadcast their message across the globe, a message of a new world order. They portrayed humanity's civilization as corrupt, chaotic, and self-destructive, a patriarchal system that had brought the world to the brink of ruin. They offered a new path, one of order, strength, and discipline under their rule. It was a terrifyingly compelling message for some, and splinter groups began to form. People who saw the Amazons not as invaders, but as saviors. The world was fracturing from within, even as it was being conquered from without. The human spirit, however, is not so easily broken. In the face of overwhelming odds, heroes emerged. Scientists worked tirelessly in underground bunkers, developing new weapons and defenses to counter the Amazonian threat. Soldiers fought with desperate courage, holding the line in the siege cities. Their acts of bravery becoming modern legends, resistance cells sprang up in occupied territories. Ordinary citizens turned saboteurs, fighting back with whatever they could find. It was a war of attrition, a bloody, grinding conflict that cost millions of lives. The skyline of every major city was permanently scarred by smoke and fire. The ground was littered with the spent casings of human bullets and the glowing power cells of Amazonian rifles. This was the new age of warfare. It wasn't a battle of men against women. It was a battle for the soul of the planet. A battle of freedom versus domination, chaos versus order, humanity versus a force that seemed to be its evolutionary successor. The clash of civilizations wasn't just about territory. It was about defining the future. Would humanity find a way to overcome this challenge, to rise from the ashes and reclaim its world? Or was this the dawn of a new era, the age of the Amazons? The world held its breath, watching as the war raged on, a brutal, epic struggle for survival, equality, and ultimate power. The legends were true, but the reality was far more terrifying than any story ever told. And as the battle for Earth reached its bloody crescendo, one question remained on everyone's lips. Who would be left to write the history of the victors?
What if the legendary Amazon women, those fierce independent warriors from Greek mythology, were real and walking among us today? Imagine a world shaped not just by their strength, but by their unique culture and perspective. This isn't about a mythical invasion, but a fascinating thought experiment. What would our society look like if it integrated the principles of the Amazons? First, let's talk about the workplace. Amazonian society, as the legends tell it, was a meritocracy built on skill, courage, and wisdom. If this ethos entered our modern corporate world, we might see a dramatic shift. Promotions wouldn't be about who you know, but what you can do. Imagine boardrooms where decisions are made with the swift, strategic precision of a battle plan, where leadership is earned through proven capability and respect, not just seniority. Teamwork would be paramount, mirroring the cohesive unit of an Amazonian phalanx, where every member is vital to the group's success. We might see a rise in mentorship programs, with seasoned leaders training the next generation, passing down knowledge like a sacred tradition. Now, let's look at sports and physical fitness. The Amazons were renowned for their incredible athleticism. Their presence would undoubtedly revolutionize the world of sports. We'd likely see new athletic competitions emerge, testing endurance, strategy, and strength in ways we've never imagined. Women's sports would skyrocket in popularity and funding, achieving true parity with men's leagues. The focus wouldn't just be on winning, but on pushing the human body to its absolute peak. Public parks might feature more than just jogging paths. Think archery ranges, obstacle courses, and communal training grounds. The ideal of fitness would shift from aesthetics to functional strength and resilience, inspiring everyone, regardless of gender, to see their body as a powerful instrument. How would their arrival impact our social structures and family life? The legends often depict the Amazons as a society of women, living independently. In our world, this could translate into a powerful celebration of community and found family. It would challenge traditional notions of the nuclear family, emphasizing that strong supportive networks can be built on friendship, shared goals, and mutual respect. We might see a surge in community living projects and collaborative childcare systems, where the village truly does raise the child. The concept of sisterhood would take on a profound societal importance, fostering incredible support systems for women in all walks of life. This wouldn't be about excluding men, but about creating a society where different forms of community and family are equally valued and supported. What about politics and governance? Themyscira, the mythical Amazonian capital, was said to be ruled by a queen, chosen for her wisdom and strength. If this model influenced our political systems, we might see a greater emphasis on long-term sustainable planning, much like a queen ensuring the prosperity of her kingdom for generations to come. Political debate could become more direct and less about partisan squabbling, focusing on the most effective solutions for the collective good. Leadership would be seen as a duty, a responsibility to protect and serve the people, not a path to personal gain. Diplomacy might be conducted with a blend of unwavering strength and profound wisdom, earning respect on the global stage through action, not just words. Let's consider their influence on art and culture. The Amazons were not just warriors, they were a civilization with their own traditions. Their integration into our world would spark a renaissance of art that celebrates strength, independence, and the beauty of the human form in motion. We might see epic films and novels inspired by their sagas, not as mythical tales, but as historical dramas. Fashion might draw inspiration from their practical yet elegant armor, leading to designs that are both empowering and beautiful. Music could evolve, with powerful anthems and ballads telling stories of courage, community, and adventure. Their culture would enrich our own, adding new layers of storytelling and artistic expression that inspire us all to be the heroes of our own lives. And what about technology and innovation? The Amazons were masters of their tools, from the bow to the chariot. In a modern context, this translates to a focus on practical, purposeful innovation. Imagine technology designed for durability, efficiency, and sustainability. Instead of disposable gadgets, we might see a trend towards high-quality, long-lasting tools built for specific purposes. There could be breakthroughs in renewable energy, inspired by a culture deeply connected to the natural world. Urban planning might adopt their strategic thinking, creating cities that are not only efficient, but also defensible against natural disasters, designed for the well-being and safety of all their inhabitants. Finally, their philosophy would challenge us to redefine strength. In Amazonian lore, strength wasn't just physical power. It was resilience, emotional fortitude, wisdom, and the courage to stand up for one's beliefs. It was the strength to lead, the strength to care for one's community, and the strength to be independent. Their presence would encourage all of us to cultivate these inner qualities. It would teach us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a part of the human experience, and that true power comes from knowing yourself and standing firm in your convictions. So what if the Amazons walked the earth? It wouldn't be a story of conflict, but one of incredible transformation. Our world would become a place that values competence over connections, community over isolation, and true strength over superficial power. It's a fascinating world to imagine, one that inspires us to be a little more courageous, a little more united, and a little more Amazonian. Thanks for joining me on this thought experiment. If you enjoyed this journey into what if, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.